In this lesson, we'll continue working with Concept Share. We've already set up our account and published a couple of concepts to a workspace we created. I called mine Green Onion Logos. If you were following along, you should have something similar. And we've got our two concepts up here, both called Concepts 1 because they came from the Corel Draw file in the Lesson 16 folder called Concepts 1. You can see it's two versions of our Green Onion logo. So now we want to invite people to add their feedback, even mark up these concepts with their ideas. And to do that, we need to invite them. A couple of different ways to do that. We can go up to the Workspace menu and click Invite Users. Here's where we type in their email addresses, or if we know that they've got Concept Share accounts, we can add their contact names. And eventually you'll build a list here where you can select from the list of people that have been invited and removed and so on. But I'm going to click Cancel and show you an even faster, easier way. Under People, where I'm the only person online right now, I can click the plus sign. This opens up the exact same window where I can add a new member to this workspace. New user email or a contact name of an existing account holder. Well, I've already removed someone from here, so if I go to my list, I've got somebody there. Now, if you want to type in an email address, maybe your own email address or another email address you have access to, you'll see the invitation with the link to this workspace. It just brings people directly into the workspace. I'm going to click here, double click on David Rivers actually, and click right here on this little icon. Notice down below I've got levels of access I can give to this person. Admin, which would give them full access, just like I have full access, or just the ability to comment, so to see the concepts and add their comments and markups, or just simply look at. Choosing this option under View will only allow them to see the different concepts. So if I want people to view them, that's the perfect option, but if I want their feedback, I'm going to go to Comment Only, the default checkbox. Now all I have to do is add that user, and you can see what happens over here. I've now got another person online. And if I don't want them in my workspace, I click their little arrow. I can change their access level from here, contact them directly, even remove them and view their user profiles. But right now I need that person in there who's going to offer me some suggestions, perhaps some feedback. And they'll use the tool. So now I'm going to play the role of the person who's been invited. And you can see I've got some tools up here. We talked about the pan and the zoom tools already. But we've also got some tools here, the eyedropper tool. We've got the ruler. There's our pick tool, or what they call the cursor. Here's where I can add some text, show some cropping. If I want to mark up areas of the logo, I can use this. And I can also even draw some lines. Every time I do that, I'm creating a new comment. Now I can also add comments by clicking the Add Comment button. But watch what happens if I want to type something using the text tool. I click on it. Notice that a new comment is about to be created, and here's where I can choose some of the text options. So down here in the subject actually is where I'm going to click. I'm going to type in fonts. Down below, I'm going to suggest perhaps try a sans serif font for the text below the logo. So that might be a suggestion. Now, just before I submit this, I'm going to click up here where it says drag me to the area I'm talking about. So when I click here and just drag down to the Green Onion Bistro, right here between green and onion, and let go, now when I click submit, I've added a new comment. The comment shows up here in the comments window. I can move this around so if I want to get it out of the way, but notice it stays connected to that spot that I'm talking about. So now I've added a new comment. Let's add one more. This time, under Comments where it says Fonts, we don't have the Add Comment, but let's say we wanted to crop off the top or something like that. We can use the Crop tool. Using the Crop tool allows us to select the area we want to crop. And then for the subject, I'm going to actually click in there and type crop with a question mark. And then down below, should this part of the logo be cropped? And if I wanted to zoom into that area, I can click and drag to my cropped area, click submit, and now I've got a second one. Now anytime I go to this actual comment, I'm going to see the cropped area as well as this little icon dragging right into the area that needs to be cropped. If I switch back to fonts by clicking on fonts here, notice that it's now focused in on this area. Go back to crop, it shows the cropped area. So I'm not actually making changes to the concepts, but showing potential changes using some of the tools. Maybe I want to talk about some of these jagged edges here. I'm going to use my pencil. As soon as I do that, I now can change colors and thicknesses. I'm going to change the thickness to about 10. We'll see what that looks like. I'm going to keep it selected as red. I could choose any color down here. And I'm just going to draw around the letter N here by clicking and dragging with my mouse. There, I've kind of highlighted that area. I'm going to use the little drag option to drag into that area. And for the subject, I'm going to type in smoothing. And I'm going to say something like, you may want to enhance the smoothing for the text inside the logo. There we go. And when I click submit, I've now added a third comment. You can see I can move this down out of the way. It always stays attached to the area that I've zoomed into. And now for the person who's receiving this feedback, it's just as simple as clicking on the different comments to see what the feedback is pertaining to. So really cool stuff. As the person giving feedback, I can go to the second concept, maybe just add a general comment overall. I'm going to come over here to add comment and just say, I prefer this logo to the first one. There we go. Subject, I'm going to type in preference and click submit. Not attached to anything, just a general comment, and it now appears up here for this particular concept. Notice that I don't see the other comments for the first concept. So when I go back to that one, those comments are still there. Now, as the person receiving the feedback, if I look at smoothing and say, this is something that I'm already taking care of, I don't need to see this comment, go up to the edit corner here in the top right corner, and you'll see some other options down below. Save this one, cancel it, or just remove it by clicking delete. You'll be prompted to confirm that. When you say yes, it's gone. Now we're down to the first two comments that we see here. So as easy as that. Of course, you can hide them too if you don't want to see the comment. You just want to be able to focus in on your concept. Coming back here to fonts brings it back. And you'll always have the hide option. Now, because you're getting feedback from others, you also see the ability to reply. If I go down to crop and I'm not sure what they're talking about, clicking reply allows me to reply to this comment. Please be more specific. And when I click submit, there's a reply to that one now. So you'll see them both together. Should this be part of the logo? Please be more specific. And you start to grow the conversation in here. I'm going to go back up to fonts. I'm going to hide that and return back to my logo. All right, the only other option down below is the chat window, and down below, if you've got chat capabilities set up, you'll be able to come here to expand that cell or collapse it and then see the users down below that you're chatting with. Now, you'll have to have people logged in with their email addresses so that you can come down here and start chatting with them. Remember, it's not anyone in particular. As I start adding comments here, anyone who's logged in will see what I'm typing. So if I say, hi, everyone, down here and click send, it's added to the chat window from me, and then the people who are logged in will see that as well, and they can come down here and reply to that if they wanted to. So if I was logged in, for example, as David Rivers, I would have seen that initial chat which says hi everyone. I could come down here and say hello. And when I hit send, it would look like it's from me, David Rivers, but I'm just logged in as test user right now, so all the chats are coming from me. So it's kind of a live conversation, so you can actually converse about what you're doing here in the concept. Each concept has its own chat window, so if I go back to the second concept, click on it, notice that I've got my own comments here, and the chat window stays open, so you can continue chatting about both concepts if you needed to. So those are some of the collaboration tools you have at your disposal here in Concept Share. Again, you need internet access, of course, to be able to make use of this online tool. But when you start inviting users and you're getting feedback and live chat, think about the comments. It's all in one central location. It's very easily done. You come back into CorelDRAW to make those adjustments when you're done. So I'd encourage you to go through some of the tutorials that you'll find under the Help menu if you need to explore this further. Experiment with some of the different tools and setting up your own workspaces, and of course publishing your work from CorelDRAW directly in to Concept Share.